I am Jason Salzman. A little bit of a different background today. You can see a lot of green and yellow behind me. Our friends at the Hill City Cafe out in the Black Hills were kind enough to make some room for us in the back today. So here we are, live from Hill City. That matters because the Hill City boys just punched their ticket to their first state tournament ever last night. We had a lot of fun. We were up in the Sturgis Brown Gymnasium for their Sodex 16, a big win over Cheyenne Eagle Butte. They ran out to a 26-1 lead at the end of the first quarter, and then things got a little bit more normal after that, but they held off the Cheyenne Eagle Butte Braves and punched their ticket to the Class A state tournament that'll be in Sioux Falls. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to be joined by a special guest who was the producer of the live stream last night up in Sturgis. So we're going to talk to Landon here in a little bit. Some sponsors that we're going to thank before we get too far into everything. Bankstar Financial, our exclusive presenter for everything that we do on Sol's Media. So not only with the Sioux Valley Cossacks, as you can see the sweatshirt that I'm wearing today, but Elkton Lake Benton as well. And I've got high hopes to add a third school for next year. That's all down the road. We'll figure that out over the summertime. But Bankstar Financial, our exclusive presenter. So with locations in Volga, Brookings, and Elkton, Bankstar provides a big-time business with a small-town feel. Looking to finance a home? Need a car loan? How's your retirement plan looking? Stop in today to chat with the local professionals. Bank on the bright side. Bankstar Financial, a proud sponsor of Sioux Valley Athletics and the Sol's Media broadcast. We'll thank some other sponsors as we go through the show, but I'm going to bring on my special guest today. This is Landon Wiley. He does a lot of the live streaming for Hill City. Landon, my man, how are we doing today?
Pretty good, Jason.
It was fun last night. Thanks for letting me be a part of the broadcast. I didn't do much. I basically handed your announcers a phone so they could look at Sodex 16 updates, but it was a good time last night.
Yeah, well, it was. The Rangers jumped out to a 21-1 lead at the end of the first quarter, led by 15 points from junior Zane Messick.
Okay.
And his dad, Ryan, is one of our assistant coaches.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge asset. And
it was a big lead to start, and then Cheyenne Eagle Butte got back into it. They got a lot of free throws that they started. They finally started hitting some shots from the outside, which helped as well. Mm-hmm. They kept it close, but just never really made a serious run at trying to even get to tied. So it seems like the Rangers just took control of that first quarter, and they just ran it up from there.
Yeah, and for people not aware of what's been going on out here in Region 8A boys this year, I mean, you had Rapid City Christian, who's also in the state tournament.
Yep.
And then you had St. Thomas More, who we beat twice
in the last 3 weeks, right?
Yep, twice in the last 3 weeks. We beat them on the 22nd of February here in Hill City by a score of 52-49. Then we beat them in the second round of the playoffs in overtime, 50-49, to advance to the Sodak last night to take on Cheyenne Eagle Butte.
That second matchup, was that here in Hill City? Or was
that was here.
Okay. So do it at home, win in overtime, and
and twice and like you said, twice in 3 weeks. And then we also played a really good Custer Wildcat team in between that, too, and then played Hot Springs in the hosted Hot Springs, and all four of those in the first round of the playoffs, and all four of those games were here in Hill City. So I had a lot of broadcasting in a short amount of time, and we had some pretty phenomenal numbers on our live stream last night as well.
We'll talk about those numbers here in a little bit. That St. Thomas More win that you got, 2-3 weeks ago, it was at the end of the regular season, I think. That was the first time in how long that Hill City had knocked out St. Thomas More?
Since February 1st or 2nd of 2000.
Of 2000, so 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Last time that you guys had even beaten St. Thomas More.
Yep, over 9,000 days.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So it had been a while, and then you take them out twice in 3 weeks. And I think that just goes to show of the quality of kids that your squad is right now as they punch their ticket. The numbers from last night for your live stream, you were setting records last night. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the rest of what that tournament's going to look like. And then the girls fire up tomorrow, which is why I'm out in the Black Hills. Sioux Valley goes tomorrow.
Yeah, well, last night on our live stream, we had a total of 4,200 views, and that's the most views I've had on any broadcast since I started live streaming for the Hill City School District.
Right.
We had while the game was live, our peak number of viewers watching was 1,193. The average viewers,
insane, man.
the average viewers watching was 742.
Okay.
Had 9 likes on the broadcast last night and 32 new subscribers on our YouTube page.
That's a huge
last night.
I mean, we're kind of live streaming nerds, so we understand these numbers. But
it
was a huge night, not only for the live stream, but for Hill City, for YouTube channels. It's
and
it's part of the growth that we're trying to do, community-wide as well.
Yeah, and we also had international viewers.
Whoa.
We had somebody from Switzerland watching our game last night. So that's...
You've gone global? I guess.
I would say so. I mean,
Sure.
we've had people in Mexico. Last year, we had somebody in Brazil watching one of our playoff games, and that was the girls' second-round region game against STM, St. Thomas More, last year. So
Brazilians love Hill City basketball. It's proof now. I mean,
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
evidence to back that up.
Haven't broken into that Canadian market yet, but that's on my goal sheet.
We'll come up with some sort of promotional plan, and we'll start, putting maple syrup on things and, doing things like that. That's making fun of Canadians, but it's all in good fun. Yeah, we'll reach out to the Canadian border and see if we can get some Canadians, some Canucks in on the broadcast here. It really was a fun night up in Sturgis, though. They punched their ticket to Hill City Boys first time ever, correct?
Yep. First time in their 107-year history.
So
first time ever.
You guys are the Rangers. Smokey the Bear is your mascot. You're the only school
in the United States
that gets to use Smokey the Bear.
Yep.
Since we are we're not in the Black Hills National Forest here, are we? Or
I believe
we're close?
So.
Are we?
I believe so, yeah.
So since we are in the Black Hills National Forest, you guys get to use Smokey the Bear as your mascot, which is pretty cool.
And we're also the only high school in the United States that gets to have graduation up at Mount Rushmore National Monument, too.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
So
things are happening out here in Hill City. So I'm more than happy to be out here at the Hill City Cafe, which is where we're doing this broadcast right now. Do you want to talk a little of the rest of the Class A boys? Do you want to hang with that? What do we know about the rest of Class A boys? Let me bust out some teams quick. I'm sure you've played a couple of these, right? Hill City's probably played a couple of these guys. Let me do this. Next Thursday, Class A state tournament in Sioux Falls at the T. Denny Sanford Premier Center. Sioux Falls Christian punches their ticket with a big win over McCook Central Montrose. So they're going to play Groton. You guys play Sioux Falls Christian at all?
Nope.
West Central and Lennox, that's the 4 or 5 matchup. That's the second game in the afternoon next Thursday. West Central and Lennox, probably not something Hill City saw.
Actually, we went to Hartford over Christmas break. And then
so you saw the Trojans then, okay.
Yep, and we played them last year, too. Both of those games were in Hartford. And then this year we went to Madison and also played Waubay Summit, too, this year. I believe they're a Class B school.
Yeah, we'll get into Class B in a little bit here. The matchup that you guys have, this will be 6 o'clock Central Time in Sioux Falls next Thursday. Hamlin is the draw, the 2-7 matchup, the Hamlin Chargers. You guys haven't seen them yet, but Sioux Valley certainly has. They're big, they're athletic, they're fast. They can shoot threes, they can defend. It's a formidable matchup for your Hill City Rangers.
That game might also turn out to be one of those track meet style basketball games because, I mean, the Rangers can do the same thing.
You'll have to keep getting tutored from head coach Bill Vincent of Sioux Valley. Certainly knows that Hamlin squad very well. And then the last matchup, the 3-6 matchup, is Rapid City Christian and Clark Willow Lake. I'm sure you've seen Christian as well.
Yep. Yeah, they're in our region. They're in our conference, the Black Hills Conference. 11 schools in the Black Hills Conference.
What do we know about Rapid City Christian? Are they big? Are they athletic? What do they do?
Yeah, they got Julius Frog and Benson Kiefer. They're the 2,000-point scorers for the Comets.
They're 2 studs.
Yep, they're 2 studs, yep.
Well, Rapid City Christian gets the 3. They'll play Clark Willow Lake. Clark Willow Lake's another team that Bill Vincent knows very well. That's a conference foe as well. So the Cyclones punching their ticket. And once I should have done some more research on the last time that all of these teams have been there and done this. And last time, it's always fun to look that stuff up. But I was busy cruising around the hills this morning, so I did not look that up. We move to the Class B side, and Castlewood, the 1 seed, they'll take on Lyman. Wessington Springs, the Spartans, they'll take on Wall. That's the 4-5 matchup. The 2-7 is Del Rapids St. Mary and Aberdeen Christian, and then 3-6 matchup is Viborg Hurley and Freeman. You brought up one team last night, Wabash Summit, and they got beat out in the regions. They weren't even in that Sodex 16.
And you were
there's a Waverly South Shore that made it, but
yeah. And you were just talking about Wall, and this was another game we had here in Hill City. This was on January 30th, but the Rangers defeated the Wall Eagles 66-61. And in that game, the Wall Eagles made 13 3-pointers against the Rangers, and the Rangers still pulled out a narrow victory in that ball game.
Still able to hold them off after 13 threes, yeah. That's a quality win, but that's what is that? 3 teams now that we mentioned that have gone to state tournaments that have been on your roster.
And then on the AA side, we lost in overtime lost 57-49 to Spearfish.
Right.
Another Black Hills Conference opponent that we see every year out here in the Black Hills.
And then you had Sturgis Brown on there as well.
And lost in overtime to that one. Or no, lost that one. That one wasn't overtime. Spearfish one was overtime.
Okay.
But lost to Sturgis Brown by 60-58.
Spearfish punched their ticket to the AA tournament. Sturgis ended up losing in the Sodex 16. They lost to Huron. Rapid City Central, Stevens, they're both at home. I'm just going through some other teams that you might have played there. But, that's what the AA boys looks like. State tournament next week. We do have some things that you want to announce as far as Hill City goes. There's T-shirts you can buy. There's probably some ticket info that's online. South Dakota Public TV will have all that sort of things. But T-shirts for you guys. What do you got?
Yeah, if you go on Facebook to Hill City Rangers Booster Club, there's a link on there to order your state basketball T-shirts. The deadline is March 13th at 12 or 11 p.m. or 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time on the 13th.
So that's tomorrow night. We have
night.
until tomorrow.
Yep.
And the reason for the shortened time frame is it's state tournament time.
Yep.
You got to get orders in, then you got to get made. Then Sioux Valley's going through this right now with the girls' side. We had to get those orders in, get them made, get them delivered in time for a tournament that's only 6 days away. So
yeah, that's pretty fast.
It's a quick turnaround. But if you go to the Hill City Rangers Facebook page, right?
Rangers Booster Club.
Booster Club. There we go. On Facebook, you can find it there. You can find the link there. Get your T-shirts, right? Support of that goes to who? Does that go to the Booster Club then, I would imagine?
I'm not 100% positive.
We'll look that up. We'll figure that out. But it's a way to support the Hill City Rangers next week in Sioux Falls at their state tournament. Wear the gear, as the Cossacks are on my chest all the time. It was fun last night, man.
Yeah. Well,
good atmosphere. There was a lot of people in the stands.
Yeah, both Cheyenne, Eagle Butte, and Hill City brought tremendous crowds last night. It was loud in there. My decibel meter was not working last night. That was unfortunate, but just another tech issue to work out for the fall.
Yeah, Landon here with his production side of things. See, I have an iPad and a tripod and a soundboard, but Landon takes it to another level. Just incredible to see what I saw last night as far as the production goes.
It's
nice
a lot
work, man.
Thank you. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours go into that, as you saw yesterday.
It's the payoff. I mean, if you saw that live stream last night, it's graphics, it's quality, it's announcers that are doing their jobs well.
A lot of dedication goes into our basketball live streams out here in Hill City.
Well, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Now the Hill City Rangers will go to a state tournament, and we'll see what they can do in the Class A boys.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun matchups in that tournament.
Oh, there always is.
That's going to be a fun one to watch this year. Pretty excited.
As much as we love football in the fall, South Dakota is a basketball state.
Oh, yeah.
So, we talked and joked a little bit about it last night about how the Class B tournament, always nuts. Doesn't matter who's in it.
Yep.
Aberdeen's going to be packed always with the Class B boys. The Class A is in Sioux Falls this year. That means AA will be out here in Rapid City.
Yep.
Those are really fun tournaments too, man. And the quality of basketball that you get at this time of year, through those region games, through the Sodex 16 that we just lived last night, going down to state tournaments just ups the ante even more. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So I go. You were questioning whether you were going to go or not.
Yeah.
Well, go to the state tournament.
Yeah, that's to be determined yet. There's some things that got to be ironed out between now and then, but
we'll
figure it out.
Quit your job and go. Just go. Do it. State tournament time. That's how we do it. So with that, I can let you go, man. I'm sure you've got things to do here around the old caveat. Not at all. Well, then if you want to hang out, then I'm just going to go over to the girls' side, talk about what the Sioux Valley Trek is going to look like in Spearfish starting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and what Sioux Valley is going to have to do. Let's go right into class. We'll start in Class B and then work our way up to the Class A tournament. Class B, congrats to the Dubrook Dolphins, also punching their ticket. Class B girls. They go in as the 8 seed. They'll take on the defending Class B champions, the Centerville Tornadoes. So a tough matchup at the same time. That Tornadoes team is just as stacked as what they were last year. But congrats to Dubrook taking on the Tornadoes. That is a noon game tomorrow in Huron as the Class B girls. They'll be in Huron. You ever been to the Huron Arena?
No, I have not.
Old, classic. It has that traditional feel to it.
Yeah, and
it's an old building, man. It's really cool.
They just did some renovations in there.
They had to upgrade some scoreboard things, some video board things, the PA announcing things. So, yeah, they've made that part modernized. The internet is better in there, but it's just an old feel in there, man. Bricks and old chair seats and everything. I love that arena. It's fantastic in there. Dubrook, in the noon game, the 1-8 matchup, the 4-5 matchup, Parkston, who dropped down to Class B, will go in as a 4 seed. They'll take on Bennett County, who's making their first ever appearance in a state tournament. So congrats to Bennett County. That's the 4-5. That's a 1:45 tomorrow afternoon. The evening session, Harding County. That'll be the 6 o'clock game. Harding County gets the 2 seed. They'll take on Del Rapids St. Mary's. So congrats to the Cardinals. I'm punching their ticket. I keep going with my local stuff around the Volga, Sioux Valley, Flandre area. So congrats to the Cardinals on making it. That's 6 o'clock tomorrow night in Huron. And then Lyman, the Raiders, punch their ticket. The Raiders are going as the 3 seed. They'll take on the 6 seed Sanborn Central Woonsocket, who's been there a few times, but Maya Selland was part of those squads. What do you got over there?
Oh, let me find it here. I'm trying to pull our Hill City's girls schedule because you talked about Harding County. That was actually a team of our girls.
Okay.
We went up to Harding County, and unfortunately we lost that game, but we did go up there. Nice gym up there.
Harding County's beat a lot of teams this year. Don't feel bad about that at all.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, that was my first time filming in that gym up there, and it's not a bad gym to film in.
Yeah. I was telling you a story yesterday that I was the photography intern for the tourism department in 2003. This is when I was in between junior and senior year at SDSU. So I landed that internship. It was a photo internship. So my job was they gave me a car. And I had to get to all the festivals, every celebration, every small town thing, anything that was going on in South Dakota. We just did a tour for the whole summer, and my job was to go to those things and take pictures. Not once in that summer did I get up to that northwest corner of the state. I'm sure they have celebrations and festivals up there. It's just it wasn't on my schedule to go to, so I never got north of Belfouche, and then I never got west of Mobridge. Yeah. There's just a whole void area up there in Harding County. Kind of lives in that buffalo up there.
The Ranchers, they're undefeated on the season, and they beat Hill City 54-39 at home up there in Buffalo.
Harding County, they've been ranked all year as well. They're 21-0. Centerville 23-0 going into the state tournament. Harding County's at 3 in the media polls. In the regions, as far as the playoff points go, Harding County overall, there we go. Harding County comes in as the number 2 in those playoff points, so it makes sense like that. But, a couple of undefeated teams in that Class B tournament, so it should be fun in Huron. If you get the opportunity, go to Huron. Even if you don't have one of your schools in there, the competition, the quality of basketball games that you're going to see in Huron and the rest of the tournaments that are around the state over the next week are just going to be fantastic. So even if you don't have someone in the fight, just go pay your ticket and just go sit in the stands and watch and enjoy it. And if you can't do that, I guess we'll throw a shout out to South Dakota Public TV.
Yeah, South Dakota Public
they
Broadcasting.
They have the live stream.
Yeah, on both all 3 South Dakota Public Broadcasting TV channels, 1, 2, and 3. We'll have all 3 of the state tournament games, both weekends, both the boys and girls. So all 3 A, AA, B, all three of them, both boys and girls, will be on there. And you can also watch it live on YouTube, all three of them on SDPB Sports on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah, .com, though, too, right?
It's SDPB.org.
There we go. Nailed it.
Online.
All right, so the other girls' tournaments then, we'll go to Bball and save my Sioux Valley girls for last. The number 1 seed in Bball is O'Gorman. They're still undefeated on their season. They come in as the 1. They'll take on Sioux Falls Jefferson. Now, these games are at the Monument right in Rapid City. What is that, 40 miles from here? Is it 30 miles from here? Maybe a little less.
Somewhere around there. It's somewhere around 30.
We're right on Main Street, Hill City, right here at the Hill City Cafe. So the Monument, not all that far from the cafe here. But it is O'Gorman against Sioux Falls Jefferson. That's the 1-9 matchup. The 4-5 in the afternoon, the second game in the afternoon, Rapid City Stevens comes in at the 4. They'll take on Spearfish, a team that you're pretty familiar with.
Yep.
The 2 seed, the first game of the evening sesh, Brandon Valley, the 2, they'll take on Pier. That's a 2-7. And then the 3-6 matchup is Sioux Falls, Washington against Mitchell. That's the Bball slate. Spearfish, you guys typically don't play Stevens or Central, though, right?
No.
I mean, not on
No.
Has it ever happened?
Not to my knowledge. Maybe down at the sea level, we'll catch them in some sea games at like tourneys or something like that, but not at the varsity level. Spearfish is for folks watching. Spearfish, Douglas, and Sturgis Brown are actually members of the Black Hills.
So they're conference foes.
Yep,
at least.
Conference
so you keep those alive. Then.
Yep. So we see those 3 schools, those 3 Bball schools every year.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll petition. We'll get Stevens and Central involved.
There's been discussion about that out here.
It'd be fun. I mean, it saves you from having to travel somewhere else. I mean, Rapid City's not all that far away. I mean, just thinking in my head of easiness of travel, of getting kids to places, bus rides.
But that's been a old conversation for probably 30 years or better in the state of South Dakota. And it seems like the whining is increasing on that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could tell you that Sioux Valley doesn't play Brookings. I mean, that's only 10 miles away, not even 10 miles, and they never play the Bobcats. So. Yeah,
and you guys aren't far from Watertown either.
No, not really.
Up there.
Huron's only an hour away. Sioux Falls only an hour. Yeah, we never play those schools. So that'll move us to Class A. Now, this is the reason I'm actually in the Hill City Cafe today. Came out early this week. I wanted to hang out in the hills. I wanted to hang out in Landon. We went to that Sodex 16 game in Sturgis last night and watched his Hill City Rangers punch their ticket. That was a lot of fun. But it is the Class A girls state tournament that is in Spearfish. We'll be right at Black Hills State University. I actually have to get there this afternoon as Sioux Valley's getting here right now. They're en route, but they do have a practice day at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. So I'm going to hang out with those girls today while they get here and get themselves ready. Sioux Valley is coming into this tournament as the 7, so I'll mention that here in a little bit. The 1 seed in Class A, Sioux Falls Christian. They are fantastic. They are athletic. They are good. They are fast. They can shoot, and they go 10 deep on that roster. So like a hockey line change, 5 girls out, 5 girls from the bench in, and they do it kind of all game long. It's impressive to see that stuff.
They got depth.
They do have depth, and they're talented. All 10 of those girls they can use interchangeably. They don't miss out on anything by bringing the second 5 in. It's amazing to see them work. Sioux Valley played them tough to halftime. And then the fact that they can do their roster like that and not lose it, they just wear teams out. And they will press you from baseline to baseline all day long.
It's about conditioning.
They just wear teams out. Vermilion was the only team to beat Sioux Falls Christian this year. So they're coming into this tournament at 21-1. There is an undefeated team in Class A. We'll get into that here in a second. So Sioux Falls Christian, the 1, they're going to take on Mount Vernon Plankington, who got back in. The Titans, congrats on that. They'll play at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, that is a Mountain Time 1 o'clock. No, on this it'd be Central Time.
No, this is Mountain out here.
We do Mountain out here?
Yep, it's Mountain Time out here.
So 1 o'clock Mountain Time. And then the second game of the afternoon, Hamlin, the Chargers, also a foe that Sioux Valley is very familiar with. They're good as well. They can shoot it from all over the place. They like to pressure, get those steals and transition buckets. Hamlin comes in as the 4 seed. They'll take on Mobridge Pollock, another great team in Class A. the 2 seed, Dakota Valley. The Panthers from North Sioux City, another fantastic team in Class A. They're good. They pressure. They get transition buckets off of those steals. They can shoot threes.
Yep.
It was another team that Sioux Valley played, so this is a rematch. Sioux Valley comes into the 7. The 2-7 matchup is Dakota Valley, Sioux Valley. We went down to North Sioux City, had a lead until 4 minutes to go in that fourth quarter. Sioux Valley that night hit 16 threes against the Panthers. And then in the last 4 minutes, nothing went in. So the Panthers were able to kick and scratch and claw and catch up, and then they won it with free throws at the end. So it was a great matchup. Just didn't go the way of the Cossacks in North Sioux City. We'll try to change that in Spearfish tomorrow night, actually. So that's the 2-7 matchup. And then the last game of the day, Mapialuta, formerly Red Cloud. They're the last undefeated team in Class A. 21-0, is that what I just said?
I believe so,
I think
yes.
so. And they're going to take on the Wagner Red Raiders. Their star is Ashlyn Kopel, who just a couple weeks ago had a quadruple double. She went for like 29 points and 20 rebounds. She had 11 blocks and 10 assists. She's an amazing basketball player. She's got friends around her as well. That Wagner team started off strong. Then they went through a stretch in the middle where they lost 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. I was just reading a story in the Mitchell Republic this morning. And then they were able to get things put back together, and then they roll through their postseason play, and now they're in the state tournament once again. So the Red Raiders will take on the last undefeated team in Class A, Mapialuta, the Red Cloud. Did you guys see Mapialuta?
Yep, they're out of Region 7A. They're located on the west side of Pine Ridge, but they're also another Black Hills Conference foe. So we see them, and their girls beat us 67-26 this year, and that was early on in the season, back before Christmas break, back in December.
What'd you think of that Mapialuta squad then? What's your take on what they do?
They can run.
Yeah,
they can run. They play ball. They're well coached, well disciplined.
They're coming into it 21-0, my man. So they'll be 22-0. Sorry. So they'll be ready. This cough is never going away, by the way, ever. I'm going to have it forever, sadly. That is Class A. So that's kind of our state tournament previews. Anything else you need to add? Get out to the games, get out to the arenas, enjoy the basketball. It's going to be over here in a week.
So this weekend, with both the Class A and AA girls tournaments being on out here in the Black Hills, we will have both of those games on here at the Hill City Cafe this weekend, all 3 days.
Shout out to Hill City Cafe.
And then next week for the boys, we'll be having a watch party here as well for people in Hill City that cannot make it to
all the way
Sioux
to Sioux Falls. Yeah, and I think that's a common theme because, we listed off all those schools. So there's 8 teams at every tournament. There's 6 tournaments going on over the next, 10 days or so. All those tiny towns and all those communities, they will have watch parties at the same time. So if you can't be in the building, which is the best option, by the way, if you can't be in the building, you can find it on South Dakota Public TV. You can find it on their live stream as well on .org.
Yep.
But it's watch parties in, wherever you can find them in these communities. It's part of how South Dakota does it, how these communities survive, how they support these schools. These are our athletes. These are our kids. These are the ones that we cheer for.
Yeah, and like last night, for example, we had people here watching our broadcast last night, and then there was another one at the Gaslight in Rockerville, too. So that was actually where the post-game celebration was on the way home from Sturgis last night. So.
Yeah, all sorts
of
fun.
There's multiple places that, with the way the internet works and the way streaming works, everybody's doing it now.
Yeah, and everyone doesn't have to be in the building anymore because of things that you do with your production side of things, the things that I'm trying to bust into, my production side of things. But it's still the best option. Getting your ticket, getting some popcorn, getting a soda, sitting on the bleachers.
You had a hard time last night getting popcorn.
I went up there twice, and they were sold out. There was so much popcorn going through the Sturgis Brown High School gym. I tried to get some twice, and I finally had to just kind of buy it and wait for them to make it, and then she handed it to me when they were ready. But.
Yeah, well, that was a big crowd. Like I said, there was our fans had multiple watch parties, and we still had a big crowd. I've never seen our student section that as large as it was.
And
last night.
Raucous, would that be the word for it?
Yeah.
They were loud, they were noisy, they were crazy, man.
Yeah, well, when we played or hosted St. Thomas More in Custer, I mean, it was packed. I mean, that Custer-Hill City rivalry on the boys' side is one of the most talked about rivalries in the state of South Dakota. 15 miles of highway separate Custer and Hill City, and it was standing room only that night, and we had 1,200 views on our live stream that night. I couldn't believe it. Never seen that either. So
I'm still trying to get to those levels, but you got some years on me. You've got a head start on me. I'm trying to catch up. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, well, just to give some people a background, I had 9 years of filming game films for coaches when I was in Custer doing basketball, football, even did volleyball for a season. Then I came up here and took over the live streaming responsibilities for Hill City.
Okay.
So you combine that, but in addition to streaming, I'm also doing the game films on top of that. So I'm doing double duty when I'm doing a game. So, I mean, that's just another thing to go wrong. But when you start adding that many
just another something to throw on the plate. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I'm wrapping up my 13th consecutive year of filming game films for coaches. So,
well, that's dedication for sure. So congrats on that as well, man. And
thank you.
I'm sure Hill City thanks you for everything you do. Thanks for all the help that you've given to me. Mm-hmm. And, my fall partner, Bill Vincent, he's part of the volleyball squads, the football squads we'll be doing in the fall. The three of us are in this text chain that just doesn't end, especially this time of year right now.
Yeah, well, it should be fun for the three of us to get together and do a broadcast sometime. We'll have to make it happen.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how we'll pull that off, but
we'll find a way.
We'll find a way, right? We'll get somewhere. Sometime it'll happen, and it'll be a lot of fun. But thank you today to the Hill City Cafe being our sponsor here. You can see all the Hill City Ranger stuff on in the background. Some other sponsors I want to throw a shout out to: Bball Brands. My employer, Bball Brands, thank you for allowing me to take vacation today and tomorrow to get out to spearfish and hang out in the hills all week. CC's Bar and Grill, a proud sponsor of Sioux Valley Athletics right in downtown Volga. CC's, thank you for being a sponsor. GP Auto gives us our first quarter stats. Health Source Chiropractic, a fantastic sponsor for the Health Source halftime show that we've been doing all season long. We'll continue that. All these names we're going to do this in the fall anyway. So, yeah, this is all fun stuff. Precision Risk Management, another fantastic sponsor. Shorty's Hotbox Food Truck, a great sponsor and a great food truck, by the way. And their season is about to start jumping up in business as well. I mean, Kim stays busy all the time, but during the summer they do festivals, they do fairs, and that food truck is everywhere. So get to Shorty's Food Truck and enjoy that stuff. Tropical Smoothie Cafe brought us our player of the game for the basketball season and the volleyball season, for that matter. It went over like gangbusters. So, and we have to do this again. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, sponsor of the player of the game. Every player of the game got a gift certificate for a free smoothie, and the kids absolutely loved it. So we'll do that again. Back Alley Meats, Buster's Auto Brokers. That's the sponsorship for the South Dakota Score Feed app. So we take a look at those and give you updated scores during halftimes, post games, during the game. Those are sponsored by Back Alley Meats, Buster's Auto Brokers, Nick's Hamburgers, Jimmy John's, the Man Cave Barbershop, and Turf Guard Lawn Service, all proud sponsors of Saul's Media and all of the Sioux Valley broadcasts. I don't get to live stream from the Class A state tournament, but I'll be in the building. We'll do, I'll have a camera in my hand. Sorry, I don't want things to blow away at me. I'll have a camera in my hand for the Class A. Sounds like that's what you'll be doing for Hill City as well.
More than likely.
South Dakota Public TV, this is when they make their money. State tournaments, that's when they do the live streams. That's when they do the TV shows. They make a lot of money doing that. It pays for everything all year. I completely understand it. But I don't get to live stream. So it's things like this from the Hill City Cafe. I'll be with the girls at practice today. We'll do some interviews there and do another show kind of this afternoon. I'm essentially going to be a sideline reporter, which I'm okay with. But during the games, I'll have a camera in my hand. Mm-hmm. It's the way I get to impact. It's my duties that I get to do. It's my role that I get to fill.
Well, and for me, I actually enjoy going on the road with the teams because I actually get to it allows me to take a step back from our home games. And
right.
I mean, I still got to focus on running a camera, but I mean, when we're doing a home game here in Hill City, I mean, as you saw last night, running sound, running the computer.
You got a lot going on, man.
I mean, running the whole production.
Yeah, he really is a producer. Let's get him a truck. He needs a semi-truck to carry all that stuff around and just put it together. But it was fantastic.
That's on the shopping list.
Of course,
that's on the shopping list.
Why would it not be, really?
In one other thing, the last time I went to a state boys basketball tournament was the 2012-2013 Class B tournament up in Aberdeen.
Oh, wow.
And there was a Constellation semifinal game. It was the 145 game. That was between Langford area and White River.
Okay.
And this was before the shot clock era. That game went into 5 overtimes.
Outstanding.
And they actually had to push the start of that third game back an hour.
Yeah.
So the custodial crews had time to clean out the trash out of the bleachers.
So they could get people in, get people out.
Yeah, but I mean, that place was, that's always a fun tournament to go to up in Aberdeen. That's always a fun one to watch. I mean, 1 through 8, any of those 8 schools, any given year up there.
Yeah. Those tournaments are fantastic. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, that's always fun.
It doesn't seem to matter who the 8 teams are. The atmosphere up there stays the same
it's
no matter who's there.
It's phenomenal.
Aberdeen loves that tournament. They love hosting all those schools up there. They have a great time doing it.
Yep.
Aberdeen's a fun time.
And a lot of good things going on up there on that campus. A lot of changes. I spent several years going to college up there in Northern and got a tour of some of their new facilities when I was up there 2 summers ago. And got to see their new on-campus football facility.
Put a lot of money into their stuff up there. Yeah,
yep.
Northern State does it right, man. And some of the names that you're going to hear over these tournaments in the next week and a half, heading right up to Northern State.
Mm-hmm.
Regan Russ, one of those. Regan is Mount Vernon Plankinton Titan. She's on her way to Northern State next year.
Yep, so. And Custer has a boys basketball player that was actually out for the season with a football injury going up there to play football in the fall.
Okay.
So Roland Slotchick, Custer, he's committed to play football for the Wolves up there this fall. So
yeah, Northern, a key piece of South Dakota high school athletics and taking our kids up there and turning them into good human beings and fantastic student athletes.
And then on the women's basketball side, they've led the nation in Division II attendance 17 years in a row up there, so they know.
Yeah, what's that tell you about Aberdeen, man?
yeah, it's a basketball community. They live and die on that up there in Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, a basketball community. South Dakota, a basketball state, as we're going to see it again over the next week and a half. That's going to do it from the Hill City Cafe. This has been kind of a preview, kind of a thanks to you, and we'll just keep it going with a different version of what we do. We always just stay involved. That's not what we do. Thank you to the Hill City Cafe. Thank you to the rest of the sponsors. Thank you to Landon Wiley for joining the show today. That's going to do it from the Hill City Cafe. Enjoy your games. Spearfish tomorrow. Go Sioux Valley. We'll see what we can do against Dakota Valley. That's going to do it, everybody.